Hello and welcome to yet another cast. For you today I have a 3v3 played on the matchmaker and thus also on the Mapgen. The base map size is 20k, so I end with this gap. I think that's 15k, since that doesn't look like the big kind of gap you get on 12.5ks. But anyway, let's get into the introductions. We have Team 1 up here in the northwest, Team 2 down here in the southeast. And let's get started with introducing the players. On the northernmost slot in purple for the northwestern team we have Hannibalo going UEF and opening first land. Then to the south of that we have Balfron in blue going UEF and also opening first land. And to the east of that, in dark blue, also opening first land and going Cybran, we have Harsher of Death. Right, for Team 2, in the southernmost slot in orange, going Seraphim and opening first land, we have Chaos Pyre. Then to the north of that, in burgundy red, also going UEF, just like two other players, and opening first land, we have Firth. And to the east of that we have Joker going Seraphim and opening first land in red. Right, so makeups of the team is 2 players of one faction and 1 player of another faction in both teams. We won't see any Aeon or no, we won't see any Aeon this game. No Cybran for the southeastern team, no Seraphim for the northwestern team, unless anyone captures engineers, though if I remember correctly that's not anything that's happening in this game, so yeah, whatever. Players already picking out who gets with what maxes, and already also giving some over to the other players, I guess. Very nice. Also Chaos Pyre giving over these maxes right here to Joker, which is quite a nice move since I don't think Joker will be getting that many expansion maxes. I see 2 right there, so yeah, it's not actually that many. And Firth is scrapping these ones. But this almost looks like a 6-player spawn map, or a 6 spawn map with the additional 3 areas right here. I think those could be additional spawns, though I'm not too sure. Now, game balance of course very high at 99%. This is a matchmaker, so not too surprising. Reclaim looking pretty standard for Mapgen. You have a bit of reclaim dotted around those plateaus, little bit around other areas, but nothing too major. Not too surprising. We do have a early transport out from Harsher of Death, going after this max constellation right here. And a bomber out from Chaos Pyre that is, I think that is going to try and harass Hannibalo. We will see how successful that will be. Let's see. Has been targeted. Bomber now also out for Hannibalo. So both teams going for bombers. Hannibalo also going for early transport to get that a quick expansion up there. I don't think the other team has gone for transport, so that means that the northwestern team definitely, or Team 1 definitely, will be faster on the expansions, getting those engineers out earlier. But that bomber does get a drop off, killing off the engineer that was expanding up here. Hannibalo actually grabbing all of these maxes, unlike unlike on Team 2 where those additional bases were just built up upon the other players. Now, other important thing is that there is a small run-by out from a few Mech Marines coming out from Firth that is trying to kill off these engineers that were dropped over by Hannibalo, though I think a mix of just quick PD and T1 bombers was able to take out that. Right, currently nothing of major importance happening. The bomber for Chaos Spire is still alive, killing off, it has killed off 260 mass. Right, I think it also got these engineers right here. And is now trying to kill off that Hydra for Balfron. It has 1 rank of veterancy. There are antis alpha Hannibalo, though I guess Hannibalo just not aware that that thing is around. Not going for that. Instead going for another transport, getting that expansion up there. Though I'm pretty sure it's the same transport, but getting another drop off of that. Now, Chaos Spire going for a gun upgrade. Gonna try and be aggressive right there. And to be fair with them, there is currently no major... there is a bit of spam protection out from Herrscher of Death right here. But Balfron is actually quite slow on the expansion right now. Not getting any of these maxes yet. And also not having any proper spam protection out. The bomber does get shot down shortly before taking out the Hydra. 1 more drop and that would have been dead. So Balfron definitely reacting just in time. Also just realized it's not too surprising that Balfron doesn't have any major spam production out in the area since, well, they are in the more backwards position or more back place position, meaning that they will most likely focus on air, and they have actually already reached T2. That sounds like a UEF bomber, yes. Some harassment out from a Scorcher right here, but that did get shot down by 4th. Let's see, how does air attacking look? There is T2 currently on the way for Joker. Currently no T2 air out from 4th. And only T1 out from Chaos Spire as well. So Team 1 definitely ahead on air attack. Gun now also going out for 4th. And let's see, is there any gun upgrades going out right here? No. No one on Team 1 as of right now going for gun upgrades. If those commandos do get pushed, that will be a major threat, though Herrscher of Death did stay in their base quite long with that ACU. Only pushing up now. And Balfron is also quite in the back with that. Something that's not really that surprising, that was to be expected with the early transport usage from Team 1, is that they are currently ahead on map control. Let's see, are they also ahead on eco? Yes, they are. Though there are still quite a few maxes between their currently set up front lines and their main bases that have not yet been claimed, though they are already queued up. For finishes gun, and gun has already been finished a while back by Chaos Spire, who is pushing the expansion that has been built up by Herrscher of Death with the transport. I think that army should probably try to stop that ACU. Well, no, saying that it probably should, because that's nowhere near enough to deal with gun ACU. That will quickly just take out all the spam. While it is happening, let's take a short look. Is there any storage out from Chaos Spire? Do they have the ability to overcharge? Well, they are currently going for T2 maxes, though that's not too important. Bunch of P-gens, I don't think they have E-storage. Easy way to check, just go onto their... Right, I can't see that, but 14,000 energy storage, so I am mistaken, they have an E-storage somewhere. No clue where, but somewhere there must be an E-storage. At least I think so. Because I'm pretty sure that's not the normal amount of E-storage that the commander provides. If I'm wrong on that, you're completely welcome to correct me on that. At the same time, we cannot find any E-storages, so I may also just be wrong. There is, however, T2 Lantner out from Chaos Spire, who is continuing to threaten this forward position out from Herrscher of Death, who is slowly pushing up with the commander, though, again, no gun upgrade out. Hannibal did get a gun upgrade and is currently under threat from 2 ACUs out from Firth and Joko. Both of which do have gun upgrades. That's not looking too great for Hannibal, who with that is alone against one gun ACU. Gun going up for Hush of Death now. I guess wishing to get an upgrade. Not too close to the front line due to the imminent threat from Chaos Spire, but still wanting to get a gun upgrade to deal with that threatening ACU. Shoulder will build up by Balfron, as well as a T2 upgrade, meaning that this commander, as well as having about to be getting a gun upgrade, also has an immense amount of build power, with 5 build power from both of these shoulder drones each, meaning an additional 10, plus the 42 from the T2 upgrade, meaning that that ACU will be looking at a whopping 52 build power right now, which is a lot. If I remember correctly, that's comparable to the build power on a Megalith. Which doesn't say much because Megalith doesn't have that much build power, but it's still a bit. Right, the E2 Air Factory does have 40 build power as an example for comparison. Or these two factories in general have 40 build power, so yeah, it is still quite a bit. Now Herrscher of Death immediately also going for stealth, wanting to get some survivability, and shoulder drones out from Balfron, as well as some engineers supporting that upgrade, getting that up early. And not too surprising again, Nano upgrade following right after. That ACU will be a force to be reckoned with, having both stealth and nano, making it hard to spot and also giving it some immense regen, making it harder to kill, like a lot harder. While Cyber Regen or the Cyber Nano upgrade has been nerfed a bit since it was introduced, it is still very powerful. Now Balfron using some stingers to help defend the position of Hannibal, who has been forced back quite a bit due to those gun commanders, but was able to keep the space up here, and is building up more spam production right there. While the spam that was built up from Joker is forced back a bit now. I'm honestly surprised that the firebase out from Hush of Death is actually still alive, though I suspect one of the reasons for that is just the immense amount of engineers that were just continuing to build up PD, which forced that ACU to target that down and... Okay, there are overcharges. There's definitely E-storage. At least there is E-storage now. Though I still can't find it, so... Could have been there all along. And for all of you watching your screens, just screaming because, I don't know, it's right there, wherever there is. I'm very sorry, but I think the proper term for that would be caster blindness. Because, guess what? Casters are blind. It's just the way things are. Still confused about that these storages, but, well, whatever. Still, most of these spam factories have survived, and the ACUs of both Herrscher of Death and Balfron are now moving in, which will definitely be very threatening to Chaos Spire, who does have 16k HP on that commander without nano, though only 30 for regen against the 78 that Herrscher of Death has on that commander, as well as the additional 14k coming on from Balfron. Both ACUs, of course, with gun upgrades, making them very, very threatening. And very deadly. And Herrscher of Death now starting to pick off just some of the spam. The veterancy coming from that will, of course, also increase the HP pool. And T1BD tried to be thrown up by Chaos Spire, but with the commander immediately in that general area, that won't do too much. Herrscher of Death taking a lot of fire from those Suis. It is definitely something to not be underestimated, and there are also some Ishivas in the area. as well as a whole bunch of T1 bombers that are actually pouring in quite a lot of damage, so the commander did go into the red. That's a lot of T1 bombers, that commander may actually go down. It does have a lot of regen due to nano, now up to 84, but with all those bombers, they Hirsch of Death still needs to be very careful, since those could be very since those could still take out the commander. ASF out from Balfron, so T3 air has been achieved, and there's more T3 aggro out. Let's see. Okay, there is now also some T3 air or T3 air capabilities out from Joker, though they are currently still building up some Wolfus. But they also built up some ASF, so fair enough. Right. Chaos Pyre still is remaining very aggressive. T2BD now started to be built up by Balfron with all that build power, though most of that cannot be used due to the air cover coming out from Chaos Pyre just killing off the shoulder drones. Robot drones, that also applies to the ones that are coming out of the what are they called? Of the canals, are considered an air unit and thus can be shot down by anti-air. And interceptors. Making it a really good strategy that if your opponent is going for heavy drone builds, to just send in a whole bunch of interceptors over their base and take out all their shoulder or cannon drones. So shoulder or robot drones, I think is the term for the cannons. Never mind, those are called robots. I have no idea what they are called, but that is a valid strategy. Now Hirsch of Death still pulling back, though to be fair, that commander is definitely could definitely be utilized at the front line again, and Hirsch of Death did realize that and is pushing that back into the front line. Most of the production here has now been cut off. Fair enough. And a massive run by up here in the north, coming out from Firth, right past anything that Hannibalo had, since Hannibalo has spam and unit production and general defense up there, and nothing to protect their base. Well, yeah, that's definitely a problem. And that will definitely... I think that will also be very problematic for Hannibalo, since that immediately threatens their own base. Though T2 transport with stocked with a bunch of T2 tanks coming out from Hirsch of Death, already lifting units to the front line to immediately defend. So some defenses just airlifted into the area. This forward base now taken out by Chaos Pyre, fully taken out and claimed, which is slowly moving the way this game is going in favor of the of Team 2. And transport's also being used by Firth to airlift or to ferry some units over to the front line, since that is quite a bit of a distance. Now the commanders up here actually struggling a lot more with Hannibalo than to be fair, it's something that we see on both sides, that the two players are struggling with the singular player a lot more than, or a surprising amount, with Hirsch of Death and Balthrone both being pushed back right here on the southern side. And up here in the north, Hannibalo still keeping their main base somewhat protected and even pushing out now with that commander. That has shield and gun, though shield has been mostly depleted. Yeah, there are some T2 arties in play, so not too surprising. Also some Klinkhammers here. But total amounts of spam and of course the pressure that the ACU can provide are about to take that out, so whatever. I think the sheet on the ACU is about to collapse. I was going to say it may have already collapsed since I can't see the sheet effect there, but I think that just didn't run up properly for a moment. As soon as the sheet goes down, it will regen a lot faster, though problem being, of course, that when the sheet goes down, that means that the ACU ACU becomes a lot more vulnerable since the hull will actually start to take damage then. Now, Chaos Pyre pushing against Balfron, who is with a lot less support. I think Chaos Pyre could go down if Fosher of Death moved in as well, if both ACUs were on that, though saying that there are Cross Airs targeting down Chaos Pyre. But Balfron already down into the red, below 2.5k and below 2k. Chaos Pyre still quite healthy at around 7k. Fosher of Death at around 10k. But Balfron managed to get out of there quite safely. I think partially due to a factory block coming out from Fosher of Death, but also just the ACU coming in and proving to be somewhat threatening. Balfron trying to get into the water. There are quite a few Suis coming in though, so not too sure how well that will work out, but that ACU is nearly into the water. Balfron deciding to push out again, I guess. Right, that commander is nearly at another rank of veterancy, so it's about to get a bunch of HP back. And well, at 3 ranks it's also regenerating quite fast already, and there it is. Back up to 7k. Actually higher than the AC of Chaos Pyre that is continuing to take fire from a bunch of Cross Airs, though there is no mobile flag that has now taken those out. So that commander no longer under a immediate threat. No longer immediately threatened. Though at the same time commanders of Balfron and Fosher of Death are now being swarmed by a bunch of Suis and a bunch of Ishubas. The most threatening part here being the Ishubas, and Balfron just shedding HP, going down below 1k and about to die. There goes the ACU. Fosher of Death also at 2.7k, okay, 3k HP. Right, it's going quickly up because Nano, but that ACU is not looking too healthy. And maybe about to go down as well. So Fosher of Death needs to be very careful. They did inherit the base of Balfron, and by the looks of it, Hannibal was actually able to gain a lot of ground in the northern area, though there are now Titans out from Firth. And I currently cannot see any T3 out from Hannibal, who seems to have primarily gone for Flapjacks, which was definitely a good call while there was all that firebasing going on, though all these Flapjacks are now just a bit obsolete since they are really, really bad against single when targeting armies, especially when pushed. And I completely missed it, but there was apparently a broadsword snap coming out from Fosher of Death against Chaos Pyre, turning this 3v3 against a 2v2. And Firth's commander currently also under a lot of threat, sneaking out of the water and firing upon the commander of Hannibal, where there is quite a lot of army. Taking a bit of fire, but it's close enough to the water that it will most likely be able to retreat back into it, and yes, it is. Balfron pointing out a T3 injury right here that was intended for an Omni. And to be fair, that is probably a pretty great place for an Omni, as it is quite far forward. So I can definitely see why. And land is still slowly collapsing for Team 2 in the north. Though at the same time, land is collapsing for Team 1 in the south. Well, it's not collapsing slowly, it's actually collapsing quite rapidly, to be fair. But there are no bricks out from Hush of Death which are used to defend against that, so there is something, there is already a strategy to stabilize that front and push back, which I suspect to be quite effective as soon as that finishes or gets used. And also, of course, quite a few gunships out from quite a few of these broadswords. Never mind, those are transports, not broadswords. Currently 3 broadswords out then from Hush of Death that will definitely be helpful in defending. Now T3 is being produced by Hannibalo, and that is now supporting this push against Firth, who has quickly run out of spam, and the commander of Joker also currently not looking too great. So I suspect that that we may be about to see another ejection from Joker, who is pointing out that that Firth could be top sniped, since they are in the water. However, the land area right here isn't that much better of an area to stay right now either, since that is quite the scary push. For a lot of T2, a bunch of T3, which is quite dangerous for commanders. Especially since those commanders do not have proper survivability upgrades. That commander does have T2 and a bunch of veterancy, putting it up to 18k HP, but to be fair, those pillars, even T2 easily just gets through 18k HP. It's not as much as it may sound. Now, the push slowly continues, but it is petering out, and Hannibalo decides to slow down a bit for now. There is still the ferry command on the spot, but currently no units actually being ferried onto that, since, well, this force is a more pressing issue and it has moved past that point. Though I think a ferry command could, or a transporting of units into the backfield could be very effective in just getting past the defenses and causing a lot of damage. Economy-wise, Team 2 is actually still currently ahead by around 100 mass, if we look at that. So they definitely have the potential to get back, maybe even getting a experimental. I currently cannot see any experimentals under construction, and these broadswords are being used to raid a whole bunch of mexes that are going T3 or were already at T3. On the note of experimental, let's see, are there any experimentals currently being constructed by Hosha of Death, since they are sitting on double base? Not at this moment in time. Now, push right here has continued now. There are now Percivals out from Firth, which are pretty good in dealing with Titans, since they are good, since they have some good alpha damage, which easily takes out T3 units, and some immense HP pool. And we also see some of them out from Joker. So things definitely being quite so definitely some defending force right here, but one thing that we still have to keep in mind is that there are a lot of flapjacks in the army for Hannibalo, meaning that if the units for Team 2 stay static in range of that, and they will just die due to that long range fire. I can hear a Titan somewhere, just running by I think. Not too sure where that was. But not too important, as that seems to have stopped again. And stuff seems to be slowing down. Firth actually built an experimental. I completely missed that the experimental was under construction. I suspect it was a chicken. Yes, it was, and it is moving north. Now, counter experimental under construction. Yes, there is a Monkey Lord out from Hirsch of Death. That chicken could potentially be exactly what Team 2 currently needs to push through the north and put a major amount of pressure up against Hannibalo again. After Hannibalo has been pushing back quite a bit for the last few minutes. But a big threat for that would probably be air, since let's maybe take a count of ASF. We're looking at 74 for Herrscher of Death and just 36 for Joker. So Joker definitely had on air. There is like one ASF or two out for 4th, so nothing really to be taken into account. No real dangerous amount. And a transport of bricks, a continental filled with bricks. Something that you don't see that often, but of course right now is possible, since the air grid for Watch of Death is UEF, while their main production was Cybran. Was trying to get into the backline right here to cause some damage, but Joker did notice in time and just shot it down. But that did cost Joker their entire air force, meaning that a second attempt of that could definitely work out. And there is a second Continental. And there are being bricks put into that Continental, so again, definitely a possibility. Though I think it may be less than... I think it only may be... never mind, that does add up to 6. I think you can only put 6 in that. I think I might be mistaken there. It might fit 8. I'm not too sure. Yeah, looking at that, I think it may be able to fit 8 of those T3 units. I hear a chicken firing, right? It's up here in the north. It is now currently forcing Hannibal back. The Monkey Lords currently still under construction for Herrscher of Death. However, they are about to drop off a bunch of bricks into the backline of 4th. And again, ASF response out from Joker and 4th, which are actually sufficient to shoot that transport down once again. So, I was mistaken when assuming that that could break through. But broadswords now moving in, and though there is no significant amount of AA currently protecting this chicken. There is one lightning tank, but that's it. And that is easily taken out by all these broadswords. It has moved under the shield, but that shield is about to collapse under all this pressure. And with that, the lightning tank is quite likely to die very soon. Though the broadswords currently do pull back. Second experimental finished, it was another chicken. And the first Monkey Lord for Hirsch of Death has finished. So maybe we'll see some similar action down south now. Map control currently does seem somewhat in favor of Team 2. Which is also visible on the economy of which is around 75 mass ahead. Or around 70 mass ahead. Meaning that they will slowly outscale their opponents. Chicken picking of some units, already having killed 16, but only 2.8k mass kills are nothing too valuable. And sorry if I have to mute occasionally, because I have already casted 3 games earlier today. 2 games earlier today, this is the 3rd one. The previous 2 casts. And my voice is starting to fail a bit. If I look at my at the time of this recording session, as this is streamed live, maybe that will be, as always in the description, I've been live for 2 hours and 25 minutes, so You have to excuse me with that. Since it's surprising how hard it actually is to cast. The hard part actually just talking for something like an hour. And if you record multiple casts back to back, that just gets really, really hard. But Monkey Lord now for Hush of Death is pushing out. There is a bit of land push coming out from 4th, though that won't do too much as there is quite a few bricks defending. And bricks are quite good at dealing with the lower tech units, with most of this push being T1, with the occasional Ishiva in there. Which doesn't really do much against a bunch of bricks. Second monkey finishers. Chicken continues to push up here and has been renamed to Obvious Alien is Obvious. Okay, that's quite a fun name. And since there aren't any other named experimentals or any other named units, I think that has been manually renamed. Can't see the second chicken right now, so not too sure. But honestly, that's quite a nice name for, or quite a nice thing to rename that. Quite funny. Suspect that the other chicken may be pushing south. Though again, I cannot find the other chicken for the life of me right now. Ah, there it is. Yeah, that hasn't been renamed. Though it will most likely be about to take out this monkey that might be very surprised about finding a chicken. Well, not too surprised as it has been scouted. Though it has not been scouted as a chicken. The monkey taking out a bunch of low value targets and just... yeah, about to die to the chicken. A lot of me saying chicken today. Right now. Up here, a Fat Boy was built up by Hannibal, though it was killed by the push of the obvious alien that is obvious. And the accompanying army of T3 and some T2. However, there were enough possibles to force the chicken back and take out most of the spam, meaning that there isn't too much to worry about. And broadswords moving in, most of them very heavily damaged. Would love to see some air staging to just repair those. But due to all of them being as damaged as they are and the amount of lightning tanks that are now in the area, those were actually just all shot down before they could kill the chicken. But seriously, air staging isn't that expensive, and when you are supporting quite a large air force, it's an amazing investment, since you quickly regen all your ASF or all your fighters, while also quickly refueling and also regenning and refueling all your gunships. Especially for ASF, it has the advantage that with that you will just your ASF will always just do as they would do at full HP, because they always are at full HP when fighting, ideally. Meaning that you will do better against an opponent that does not use air staging with similar amounts, since on average after multiple air fights, some ASF will always be damaged will always get damaged, and if your opponent does not have air staging and you do, that means that when, with similar amounts of ASF, yeah, you will have more HP on your ASF, meaning they will just survive longer. They will do better in air fights. So build air staging. A lot of strat bombers built up by Hush of Death. Those are going after the chicken, though. For those die, let's do a count. Come on. 10 strat bombers. I think those would be better put on a air snipe. I have to be honest. Chicken does end up going down to PD. Right, there are a few Ravagers now being built up, but this amount of strat bombers is I think it's a bit misused for a defensive purpose. Airfight brewing, Hush of Death pulling back. I think Joker may actually have the air numbers now. 99 against 81, yes. And Firth also coming in with 68, so Team 2 actually managed to gain air control after some time. That is quite an unfortunate development. And I think all the strike bombers did get shot down up here in the north now. Meaning that those cannot be utilized. Firth builds not experimental, probably not chicken. At least I would guess so. And a half of them going up from Joker. I don't know what the other experimental was, to be honest. But let's see, is there any standoff technology currently in the works for the for Team 1? Not really, no. Though there is shielding now coming up that will definitely defend against that. Chaos Spire pointing out that they should go for the airfight, and that is a very good call. A drop of a bunch of engines, I think? No, wait, those are Percy's, yes. Percy's with some AA did get in. But right now an airfight is definitely the exact thing that Team 2 wants to do to gain full air control. However, it seems Searcher of Death has already noticed that they were behind on air and built up a large amount of SAMs, which did get quite a few ASF during this airfight. Sadly, they were not able to have the airfight directly over the air grid, which would also have the advantage of just very fast reinforcement rates for Searcher of Death, and of course just perfect range onto those SAMs. But the push right here, or the drop right here, is quite successful. The AA seems to have been taken out, but the Percival's are still alive, taking out some stuff. Well, not too much, to be fair. And those are about to go down before actually paying off themselves. So that drop didn't do too much. Now, Rush of Death actually having a Cloak commander, using that very defensively. Cloak, laser and gun. The gun meaning that it has an amazing range. I think spy planes just flew over, meaning that for a short moment of time the Percivals were targeted onto that. But that ACU has 38,000 HP with over 100 regen. And also a quite high range laser. So let's just compare that. Okay, I think it's slightly higher range than on the Monkey Lord, maybe same range. But it's also cloaked, meaning that it's really hard to deal with, unless there are spy planes flying overhead. And even then there is the problem of the HP pool and regen of this commander. Which, by the way, has killed near 22k mass now. And is pushing in to deal with this army as well. There are currently no spy planes overhead. There are some here that need to fly over to deal with that, and I'm pretty sure there are enough Percys to kill that ACU. But Firth and Joker currently not able to see that. They are able to see the footprints and the effect from the weapons. Spy planes fly overhead, so they can see that ACU now. Up to 33k mass killed now. But pulling back. And another drop of a bunch of Percys coming in. Seemingly right in front of that ACU. So plan seems to be to just, I guess, snipe that with a drop, though one well-placed overcharge to just take out all of those Percivals, giving the ACU another 10k mass killed. Another airfight going on, though again I'm pretty sure that this will go in favor of Team 2, as they still have superior air numbers. But Hirsch of Death carefully pulling back. 45k mass kills, so that the commander definitely did its job. And the game is turning a bit more static now. There are some Othams that have moved through the middle somehow. I think they will probably dropped over down here because I doubt that this area is passable. And I don't have any clue how else they could have gotten there. But there is a whole bunch of T2PD now thrown up that is just taking out anything that gets too close. Game is turning a bit more static. There is a fat boy coming out from Hannibalo that is starting to push in. But not too much happening. However, is about to finish. Let's see if there's any counter standoff tech. A Novax was started by Hannibalo, though it has just been started. That still will take some time till it finishes. But, well, okay, yeah, the base of Team 2 isn't that well shielded, so it could actually get quite a bit of damage done. Two chickens pushing in the south, with a bunch of energies also being dropped to 28 energies in total, being dropped to reclaim all of the stuff right here, and that's quite a bit of reclaim to get. ACU of Herrscher of Death moving in, and let's see, can Kvothe see that commander right now? No. 30th Author coming in, there is a spy plane right overhead, so... or in the areas, so Herrscher of Death needs to be very careful. But chickens taking a lot of damage. Currently 45k masked on that ACU. Okay, now 70k masked after killing off one of those chickens. Spy plane just flew overhead, I think. But not in time for chicken to retarget. Second chicken goes down. 87k masked on that ACU now. Only one chicken remains. And that... I think, is that ground fired? No, it's targeting that stuff. Spy plane flies overhead. Chicken retargeted can now retarget onto the ACU. And that's exactly what it's doing. ACU is doing some weird turning and thus can't get that stuff properly. But that chicken goes down as well. However, Percival's are pouring in some damage, and Lightning Storm of the chicken does finish the job, taking out Herrscher of Death, who did, to be fair, take out 3 chickens with that commander. This was quite a bit of spam. 110k maskets, or masked, on that ACU, apparently. That's definitely a massive W. Herrscher of Death is very correct on that. Right, I'm not gonna read that. Well, okay, I did read that, but I'm not gonna read it out loud. I would probably get demonetized for reading that out. And while my videos aren't monetized, in the first place, I'm pretty sure that that would still make them do a lot worse in the algorithm, which I don't want. Hannibalo apparently using... right, yeah. Yeah, to be fair, pointing that out in chat was probably quite necessary. Because yes, the Fat Boy is not a melee unit. The Fat Boy relies on its range to pour in damage over long distance, though it's also quite easily countered by these T2 arties. As I pointed out many a time, Fat Boy not very tanky, it relies on... it has an amazing range and amazing DPS, but you need to kite with it if you want to utilize it very effectively. And by doing so you can easily take out armies and stuff like that. Half of them did finish and it is now firing over the map. A Warsaw has been started as well. Novax has been abandoned. lot of shooting going on here, so maybe we will see some sort of standoff coming on in that area. But currently not a lot going on. I think that was a monkey that was on construction that just got shot down there. Chickens not actually directly engaging the fat boy, but instead moving through the water. I suspect that they will be getting into the water, moving up here and just pushing past the defenses. In fact, there are quite a few defenses there, but those won't do too much against 4 chickens. But Joker decides better of it and instead pushes the fat boy, which, to be fair, doesn't have that much defending it. Especially against, since the possibles are being outranged by the chickens. So not too much success there. A satellite has been finished up by 4th, and it is flying overhead now. And it is definitely very, very bad for Hannibal right now. The second fat boy is now on the front line, though already under fire from the chickens, or one of the chickens, which however is about to go down just to the firepower of the fat boy, which is now also pouring in those small Gatling guns, which you don't see that often since those are for close range, and as already said, the fat boy is not intended for close range combat. But one chicken does go down, and the other ones are already quite badly damaged, so they won't be doing too much anymore. But we now also already see some units being dropped right here into this area, into the back line basically for Hannibal. And I think in conjunction with a Wasa that has finished, a Novax, and the Artifier, I am pretty sure that this game is not looking too great. Though a Mava has been started as a desperate last play by Hannibal, they are sitting at 1.2k mass income, so they can afford it. But that still will take a lot of time, and they are losing a lot of ground. I don't think they will be able to win this using a game ender. Especially since there's already artillery firing down on their base. There was just killing off multiple units again, up to 16k damage, 16k mass killed, not damage. But there is a ASF force that is trying to get a dive on that. Not successful in doing so. Wasa gets off another bomb. Does actually get shot down by the ASF, though air is lost once again for Hannibal. Chickens have made it through the water and are now killing off the SPD. And once that is dead, there's basically nothing stopping these chickens from just walking into the main base of Hannibal. And there's nothing stopping the army that has been dropped in the backline. That is already walking into the main base. Hannibal calling out the GG, so I suspect that we will be about to see a recall or control K. And at this point, completely fair. They are behind on eco, they are behind on map control, they are behind on the standoff technology game, and on experimentals, and land, and air. They are behind on basically everything, and there does the game end. I think they just disconnected, since the ACU did not die. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this cast. As I think I pointed out earlier, not sure if it was this cast or the last one, this was streamed live on Twitch. Link to that will be down in the description. I did point out this game when pointing out that this was the third game I'm casting today. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you liked the cast, the video. There will be more casts like this coming out, so you can subscribe to be notified when those do come out. And yeah, hope to see you again in a future cast. Till then, bye!